Hi, I'm Doug Tallman. I'm a reporter at Montgomery Community Media, and we're right here in our own newsroom talking with Josh Kurtz, the founder of Maryland Matters, a great website for state politics. Thanks for being here with us, Josh.
Thanks for inviting me on, Doug.
So we've got an election in just a short while,
Yeah.
and we've got a number of races to talk about. Let's start with the county executive race.
Okay.
This has got to have been one of the strangest county executive races on record, right?
Strangest and most unexpected because everyone assumed the primary would end in late June and that would be the end of it. And yet here we have a kind of crazy competitive three-way general election. Nobody anticipated it. Least of all, I think, the Democratic and Republican nominees.
Right. So obviously, Nancy Florina has thrown a monkey wrench into this by running as an independent.
Yeah.
What kind of effect is that having on the parties?
Well, I think obviously it's scrambled everybody's calculations and everybody's path to victory. I think let's remember that Mark Elrich won his primary with just 29% of the vote, and it was a six-way primary, so you can't say he sort of had a mandate there. He just won by 79 votes or whatever it was. So there was definitely a pretty big segment of the Democratic electorate that was looking for something else. And Florine, I think Democrats in Montgomery County have a tendency to sort of come together at the end. There may be bitter feelings and long-lasting feuds, but in the end you expect them to come together. Florine has definitely thrown a wrench into that, and she has really kind of called into high relief the sort of divisions that have existed for a long time in this county and continue to on just kind of the issues of development and the power and influence of the development industry in this county.
So would you say that this is going to be a referendum on development on November 6th?
I'm not sure. I think certainly if she wins, you could say that. I think if Elrich wins, I think it's as much about just sort of enough Democrats coming home and just kind of automatically clicking the D on the ticket and getting behind him. The county council obviously has just as much say on development, if not more so, and that's going to be kind of a mixed. The folks that are coming in are going to be kind of a mixed bag, I think, on development issues.
So how about Elrich's policies?
Yeah.
He's definitely seen as a far left of center type guy.
Right.
The whole county may be considered left of center.
I think so, yeah.
But he seems to have cleared a whole section of left of center all to his own.
Right.
So would it be more a referendum of Florine being more of a centrist and Elrich being more of want of a better word, a leftist?
Yeah, I think to a degree. I mean, if you kind of place them on an ideological spectrum, I mean, certainly Elrich would be to Florine's left, but how much, sort of in the broad national scheme of things? I mean, they probably, they both consider themselves liberal Democrats. I think, definitely on the issues of sort of economic development and in general, I mean, Florine has made it clear that she's going to be, she'll favor sort of aggressive development policies to kind of keep the tax coffers flowing. Elrich has made it clear that he's going to be a lot more skeptical about development, or at a minimum, demand more concessions from developers as they propose projects. So I mean, in that respect, I think voters will have a clear choice, but I think there's sort of other factors that will also determine the outcome.
So, and what role does Ficker play in all this? He seems to have had a lot more signs up before anybody else. Granted, yard signs don't vote, but it's amazing that you see them in almost every section of the county, and of course there's the Democratic worry was that Florine was going to split the vote and hand the election to Robin Ficker. So, I mean, what role does he play other than the nominal Republican nominee?
Well, I think people have a tendency to underestimate him, and people point out that when he ran for county executive in 2006 as an independent, he got, I believe, 9% of the vote. So some people are saying, well, that's his ceiling. I don't think that's the case at all. I mean, I think you're going to have an elevated Republican vote in this county because Governor Hogan's going to do relatively well. And Fickers this time, thanks to public financing, has access to some money, campaign funds, which he hasn't in the past. Is that enough to actually give him a chance of winning? I'm skeptical of that notion, but I could certainly see him pulling 20% or so, 25%. There are a whole lot of factors going on. He's certainly, he's in the mail, which he's never been before to any great degree. And as you said, he's got signs all over the place. So it's sort of Robin Ficker on steroids this time.
So do you want to go on a limb and say who's going to win?
I think Elrich is going to win. I'm not sure I would bet a huge amount of money on it, but I think, just Democratic performance is such, and there's sort of enough institutional Democratic support behind him that he'll probably win. But, Florine is on TV and in the mails, and she's attacking him aggressively, so she has some time to close that gap. I just think it's going to be tough for some voters to do anything but vote for the Democrat.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
But I'm prepared to be wrong.
Okay. Thank you, Josh Kurtz from Maryland Matters. And thank you for watching. For more information, check out our website at mymcmedia.org or Josh's website, marylandmatters.org. And don't forget to vote. Election Day is November 6th.